Story Podcast, a platform to spread knowledge on insurance innovation, digital disruptions, and entrepreneurship. Our website, insurtechstory.com, and we are available on Spotify, Apple, Google, and Amazon Music. Today, we are going to discuss on the topic impact of AI in Brazil's property insurance. The topic particularly focuses on specific geography of the world where we bring you specific trends on what's happening on the commercial market from the South American regions, especially Brazil. Before we start, a short disclaimer. Our guest today, Armas Brancaliao, he represents the commercial property insurance market in Brazil, and I'm delighted to welcome him. He is the head of property and energy underwriting for Brazil market at Swiss Re. And before we begin, Armas Brancaliao's comments and opinions in this podcast are his own and does not represent any organizations or institutions. With that, I would like to introduce Armas. He has over 25 years of experience in the insurance sector, where he specializes in property and casualty, particularly in large risk and the medium market. He holds a degree in product engineering, an MBA in business management from FGV and UCI University of California, Irvine, and a master's in general administration from Uninove, Sao Paulo. His career includes roles at prominent companies such as Real Seguros, HSBC, Yasuda Seguros, and Italio Excel Seguros. Since 2013, he served as the head of property and energy underwriting at Swiss Re Corporate Solutions, Brazil. Additionally, he has shared his expertise at multiple occasions as a professor in insurance postgraduate courses. Besides, and most notably, he's also the author of a book which is on major risk property insurance. So Armas, a warm welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Shura, for this opportunity to be here and share the impressions that we have in insurance market for Brazil.
Perfect. Well, very, very glad to have you on the show. To jump onto the topic of today, I would really, try to understand what's happening on your side of the world and bring that to our listeners. So, from the AI side, if you look at how is artificial intelligence revolutionizing the property insurance sector in Brazil, and what specific benefit does it offer to both insurers as well as the policyholders?
Oh, sure. Yeah, I would say that artificial intelligence is revolutionizing the property insurance sector in Brazil in several ways with various benefits to both insurance companies and the buyers. Some specific benefits could include, for example, risk assessment. AI can analyze a wide range of data sources, such as weather data, historical claims, satellite images, to more accurately assess property risk. This allows insurance companies to price policies more accurately, reducing the chances of underwriting losses. Other important point that I see is the claims processing. AI can assist the customers in filling claims and answer questions. Processing the claims process can be expedited through automation and predictive modeling, reducing the time and effort required to settle claims. Other important point is fraud detection. AI algorithms can detect some anomalies in claims data that may indicate some frauds, some fraudulent activity, and it helps companies to save money by preventing or minimizing this kind of claims. Customized policies as well. AI can analyze some opportunities to have a tailored insurance policies, and it means that buyers can get coverage that aligns more closely with their specific needs, potentially saving money and ensuring better protection. Yeah.
I would really like to understand a little bit more on the commercial side that you mentioned about modeling, right? So,
Mhm.
how do you see, AI helping in creating the predictive model algorithms, primarily, to estimate any sort of events, for example, flooding or any catastrophic events, and how it exactly helps the policyholders,
No, exactly. We have in the big, in the very important companies, multinational companies, we have some softwares that you can input the data of the locations that we are covering in property area as specifically lat long punctuation. Yeah. So the software can measure the real exposure these locations have in terms of flooding, in terms of uh, earthquake, in terms of wind storms, etc. And the model can establish the real expected loss that you can suffer during insurance period. So with this information, we can have more accurate decision in terms of underwriting. First of all, if you can accept or not the risk. In the sequence, how do you have to charge in terms of pricing, the deductibles that you have to apply, and the limits. If you can go ahead with a high limit for this natural catastrophe coverage or not, you have to sublimit. So these resources that we have in terms of technology is very very interesting for us to have a underwriting process very accurate. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I would further like to understand that the role of IoT, right, or rather in the
Mhm.
telematic side in property insurance underwriting. I mean, can you just elaborate something on this for our listeners?
Yeah, in terms of how do you how the risk assessment, for example, and pricing, yeah, we can monitor various aspects of the property exposures in real time, including temperature, security, uh, assess the risk associated with the property. For example, sensors can detect the water leaks, which could lead to property damage, allowing the insurers to price policies more accurately. Preventive maintenance is very interesting. It's very interesting as well because Internet of the Things devices can provide insights into a property condition and maintenance history. For instance, data from smart appliances and systems can indicate how well a property has been maintained, and this information can affect the property's insurability and pricing.
Right. And how does it enable real-time risk assessment? And what impact do you see it having on policyholders' behavior and pricing adjustments?
Well, in real-time assessment, you can, for example, measure specifically for middle market. In the middle market insurance property, we can establish, for example, deductibles according the regions. We have, for example, in Brazil, we have the south region in Brazil is very affected for strong winds and nowadays some tornadoes as well
Right.
and floods. Yeah, yeah, and floods. So the south region in Brazil is a little bit complicated in terms of natural disasters, but uh, we can measure the deductibles in the same product, in the same line of business, but according to the region, we can establish some specific deductibles, specific rates for that specific event as windstorm or others that is not related to natural disaster, but for example, electrical damage, we can have specific deductibles, specific rates according to the region in Brazil, according to the region of the location. For example, you can have 100 location inside in a single policy. So, for example, we can have a range of these locations in the south, other range in the northeast, and they both with different deductibles, different start point rates. So you can measure this data and going ahead with a specific and more accurately underwriting process according to this data that we have in real time. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So, do you see any key trends and changes shaping the future of property insurance underwriting in Brazil in particular? And how
Yeah.
does it differ from, the North American market?
I think North American market is more developed than in Brazil, starting with the risk quality we used to
Right,
find in the locations we find in, for example, in the USA, specifically for fire protection. For example, you used to see in the majority of industries in USA, you used to see the sprinklers protection
right,
is inside the culture of the industries since the construction. Yeah. So here in Brazil, we are developing this kind of procedure, this kind of culture. We have in the main industries, we have this insight of sprinkler protection during the construction since the construction, but is not common for example, the middle market area, the middle market size of risks that you if you understand me. But I think the key trends, we could say the data analytics and AI, increasing of the data analytics and artificial intelligence for this risk assessment. With this tool, we can process underwriting process and pricing based on a wide range of data sources. Climate change and catastrophe modeling is very related to artificial intelligence. The need to incorporate climate change and catastrophe modeling into underwriting practice due to increasing frequency of extreme weather events and natural disasters is very important. Regulatory changes is other thing that I need to comment, because regulations and compliance requirements
yeah,
nowadays impact underwriting practice a lot, including environmental safety and consumer protection regulations. Cybersecurity is another very important point in terms of cyber insurance related to property owners and the need to underwrite these cybersecurity risks as digital threats become more prominent. And I would say reinsurance innovations as well. Changes in reinsurance strategies and partnerships to mitigate risk in a market so volatile. Yeah, market competition. So is the last point that we have a landscape-driven insurance to innovate step by step and with very high speed, drive insurance to innovate in their underwriting practice to gain a competitive edge. So market competition, to explore some sectors according to the appetite that the insurance company has or need to develop in some region that is not exploited so well. So the artificial intelligence in terms of this kind of data for monitoring and to explore more opportunities in commercial area is fantastic.
Yeah, you mentioned about environment, and its related factors. So I really want to, understand from the underwriting and property insurance perspective that how important will it be, to evaluate the environmental impact and sustainability of properties when you actually look at underwriting any sort of a commercial risk.
Yeah, I would say ESG is very important nowadays. I think not only for Brazil but the whole world, and this practice are very strong nowadays in our process. For example, there are sectors in the insurance market in Brazil that are difficult to have capacity nowadays due to ESG regulations or ESG practice. For example, mining is a complicated sector to have capacity from the insurance companies due to the kind of process. When we have, for example, hydropower plant construction is very difficult to understand and to moving forward with the all documents that we can provide to establish that there is no environmental impact, or if they have impact but not so aggressive. Yeah, so we used to measure this kind of characteristics or problems in order to not associate the image of the insurance company with some environmental damages. So this is one of the reasons that companies in Brazil are focusing clean energy like solar or wind farms. So we used to measure this kind of aspects in the acceptance process of the risks here in Brazil, and I
Right.
imagine that in the other places in the world. I have contact with people from other parts of the world, and they are very worried about this kind of concern. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
other occupancies that are not so easy. For example, pulp and paper, for example, they have some characteristics that we need to have the all certificates about environment, etc. Is a kind of acceptance politic that we have in not only in Brazil but I think in other countries of the world.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you mentioned about certificates. So I think one of the important point here is that we all are talking about is on the green building standards, right? That as a
Exactly.
growing emphasis, on the green building practices as well as certification standards, where primarily insurers, perhaps should look at offering incentives, discounts for properties, that meet specific environmental standards, because we are essentially in a very nascent stage, and to promote such practices, we need some sort of a incentivized system, right? So that
Uh-huh.
the ecosystem comes together. So any closing thought, Armas?
No, sure. Yeah, I think it was a pleasure to share some overview of insurance companies here in Brazil, the insurance market we have here, the development that the opportunities that we have here to advance and moving forward with the use of data analytics. It is providing a lot of opportunities to us in order to explore some sectors, some occupancies, some in general some business that we can moving forward and inside that with a profitable business with good opportunities for us. So it was a pleasure for me to take part of your podcast, and count on me with in order to provide some more information when we have opportunity. It's a pleasure.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a pleasure for me too, Armas, and such a broad and such an important topic on the commercial insurance, because many part of the world really do not focus on the commercial side of it as yet. And I think this is one of the very, very important topic, particularly when we are increasingly talking about environmental factors, and where insurance has a major, major role to play in it. So thank you very much, Amos. A fantastic discussion, and thank you for sharing your thoughts today. It was a true delight to have you as a guest. And lastly, to wrap this up, thank you for listening and see you at our next episode. Take care and stay safe. Goodbye for now.